it has affected us, especially those that have transported them from their various of staying to come and cast votes for me. I have to ensure that they have to go back, and I don't know when the polling station will be ready, the ballot paper will be ready, and then we shall cast our vote.
I don't know, man, show you don't want to tell me. It's baby, I only say the bono. Now, I buying you free or because so your problem or
Tonight, anger in at least 4 regions as the district level elections are hit by ballot shortage as printers fail to earn a contract to print ballot papers on time. The main opposition NDC is accusing the Electoral Commission of messing up the district level elections, which has been postponed in several electoral areas in 2 regions. And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. Voting in district level elections just ended, but there is anger in at least 4 regions tonight after the polls were hit by ballot shortage. Shore News is learning some printing firms contracted by the Electoral Commission failed to honor their contract to print ballot papers on time. The main opposition NDC is accusing the Commission of messing up the elections, which has now been postponed in several electoral areas in 2 regions, the Ashanti and in the Eastern region. In the Ashanti region, some aspirants besieged the EC offices demanding answers. I want to take you live there now and bring in my colleague Nana Wache Yadom, who is standing by for us. Nana, so you were to the EC headquarters in the region where some aspirants had come there demanding answers.
Well, Evans, I was at the EC headquarters in the Ashanti region, just as you said. We had about 10 of these candidates from several districts besieged the EC office to demand answers as to why their elections in their districts have been postponed. The candidates complained of losses made after preparing meals and giving out transportation support to voters. They are currently in the EC office to demand answers. We've not heard from the EC officer for the Ashanti region, Mr. Banobio, but we know that the candidates are still there to demand answers from the EC. We can take a listen to the
reason why the country you say baby a twaba Mpesuaso Mensah South CPC electoral area Twaba. Now Yentiasie I didn't think Twaba.
The reason why we are here is that there is no voting going on in my electoral area.
Twaba or Mpesuaso Yentiasie anything about say if challenge.
If they say there is a challenge, why haven't the EC resolved the issue for a very long time? The EC must be blamed for the government to remove her from office.
So your problem
why should some places be voting while others are not? This is because the EC is interested in some electoral areas.
Say also obi obeto like insu obenom ya to nsu ya to ya non adwan enko fa cafe no ya de car ko isi baby e de o ma ba.
We invested money in catering for the voters and now everything seems wasted. Why should the EC tell us that we can't vote? The EC should have informed us before the election day, because if we had not come to the EC's office, we wouldn't have known. We have advised ourselves here. But if the EC has an interest in some electoral areas, the EC should know that we have the men.
So omo interest what yeah and your munjai if say omo be to mema ho.
And then now what about voters?
Well, Evan, some voters are also worried. Some of them traveled all the way from some far areas and then they came to cast their vote, but unfortunately they were not allowed to vote. Some of them also shared their sentiments with us.
There are many people out here. We are told there are not enough ballot papers for us to vote. We are pleading with them to get us ballot papers to proceed with the voting. We've been waiting out here for long. They should come to our aid.
How much? 5:30 because me mobile because I'm by 5:30 I'm bedru ase no.
I'm currently at Bosomche and Kotnas electoral areas. I'm a polling agent for one of the assembly members. They came here around 5:30 a.m. Most of them arrived around 6 a.m. hoping to cast their votes before going to work. Others also came from Accra. Another problem is that some people went to borrow money to prepare food for the voters, so rescheduling the election is not going to help the aspirants at all. Some of us from other regions were given monies for transportation, so rescheduling it would mean they would have to provide a place for us to spend the night and wait till the appropriate day for the Electoral Commission.
Because Okobobosia no the aduane a the Emma Ebiani pool agents for but enyama so economies there problem the man so nti the problems be ba na even here kra na if am account to ma ba no be na send the fed my say am na meto ma no ye be du na ama so na ye so se ekọ ana ye da e so mpa ba me da no so
chiri na omo ba mpanifo no bi ba na omo kire se DC ni biaba we no assembly member dey na bana committee members ne dey omo dey ma nti asama.
After waiting for hours, the Electoral Commission came to tell us that the Assembly members' ballot papers were in, but the unit committee members' papers were not ready. So most people got angry and left. We are pleading with them to do better next time, because this process is too poor. If the materials are available, they should bring it for us to proceed.
And then a polling ended 38 minutes ago. What's the situation on the ground now? Are people still in the queue? The other areas that were not cancelled or postponed, did they get enough ballot papers?
Evans, people are not in the queue. The voting ended not long ago, and then counting also started. We are currently at the Foriko municipality. Some districts here started counting not long ago, and then others also ended counting not long ago. But the districts that did not record and were exempted from this electoral process, we are being told that their electoral materials are in, and so on Thursday, December 21st, they will have their elections.
And then I thank you very much. Reporting there from the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi. And by the way, the Electoral Commission issued a statement on this and simply announcing that they have postponed the elections in some electoral areas in the Ashanti and the eastern region of this country, and they have apologized for what is happening, and I just want to quote them now. We apologize for the inconvenience caused residents of these electoral areas. They only mentioned the Ashanti and the eastern regions. However, we're also getting reports, particularly in the central region, that they also have experienced shortage in ballot papers. I want to go there now. I want to bring in Justice Kafui Sokwa, who's standing by for us. Kafui, what's the situation in the central region?
Evans, just as you rightly mentioned, within the Cape Coast since morning till the time that we are speaking to you, my run took me to some of the police stations at Moray within Abra Asebu-Kwamankase district. And what we observed was that there are a number of police stations which could not participate in today's exercise as a result of non-arrival of ballot papers, especially for unit committee. At Moray, where we have a total of 5 electoral areas, only 2 that are taking part in today's exercise. So about 23 police stations has been affected that they were not able to take part in the exercise. And let's also say that as we spoke to some of the aspirants, they really expressed their disappointment in the Electoral Commission, looking at the investment that has gone into the campaigning till today, that they are not able to take part in the exercise. This is what happened. Currently, I'm at Kotokwama Sintumiche police station, which is the office of the Electoral Commission. The exercise has come to an end. Sorting and counting has been done. Now the electoral officials are entering their data so that they can announce the results to the anxious voters who are around to witness the outcome of the election.
And you're right, people there on the ground are very unhappy with the situation.
It has affected us, especially those that have transported them from their various of staying to come and cast votes for me. I have to ensure that they have to go back, and I don't know when the polling station will be ready, the ballot paper will be ready, and then we shall cast our votes to elect an assembly member as well as the youth committee members. It has really affected us. I'll take this opportunity to appeal to, let me start from the Mori, the electoral executives, Abra Sebu Kwamankase, and then the national as a whole. our Madam Jen Mensah, when you are preparing documents to be dispatched, you have to ensure that all documents are intact before being dispatched. Mori part has come, others has not come. So I pray next time it should not happen again. Thank you very much, my brother.
So do you know how many police stations are not participating in this area?
To the best of my knowledge, it's about 23.
Deployed our agents to all polling stations. We have 5 polling stations. And then as we were going around, we realized the EC's materials were not available. So we tried finding out from the officials, and then they told us that the unit committee ballots were not in, even though the assembly members had theirs intact. So we were pleading even with them that we vote on the assembly election and then later set a date for the unit committee. But the EC said the orders from above states that we vote together. So we wait for the materials and then we vote. But as at now, they have retrieved the materials they brought to the polling stations. So we are yet to have a confirmation from EC why those materials have been retrieved.
Well, that's the situation in the central region. We're now getting the national picture. This is far more widespread than the EC put up in the statement. Of course, he had isolated the Ashanti region and the Eastern region. As you've heard there, it also played out in the central region. And an hour ago, in some electoral areas in the northern region too. My colleague Martina Bugri is reporting that in some of these voting centers, they were not sure if they can actually complete the process because the ballot papers were in short supply. Martina, what can you report on the ground?
Now, so we still have queues in these centers because most people came out to vote. Like I said earlier on, there are 3 polling centers that they had the numbers were more than the ballot papers that had arrived for the election. And what we are being told is that they have made provision so that if they vote and finish, or they vote and they have shortage, they go to areas where they have excess and then they move them to those centers and then they can cast their votes. But up till now, before I came up, I spoke to the EC director and he says that no one has reported a shortage yet, but there are still long queues in most of these centers that we talked of.
And this is a district level elections, which typically hasn't got many people in queues voting at all. But this is happening from what you're covering and seeing on the ground, primarily because in the early part of the day, they didn't have the materials in on time.
Exactly so. And so for the rural areas, we had people who came out. It's the city centers that we didn't have too much people coming up, but the rural communities, people came out. But it looks like it's an issue that's widespread in the Nanumba South. My engagement with people, they tell me that it's not just these centers, but it's a widespread activity that is taking place in that area.
I mean, how significant was the shortage in the places you visited? Because I've seen the numbers you've shared with us, and you can see that in almost every place you went, there were less ballot papers than people who are actually registered to vote in those places.
Exactly. So for the Bandajua, they had 760 and only 620 was brought in. At Palsua, 665. That's the number of people who were supposed to vote, and then they had 510. At Nabali, they had 266 people, and then 225 ballot papers. And then the B, they had 203, and then 175 ballot papers. So largely, there were significant shortage in these areas.
Thank you very much, Martina. The situation there in parts of the northern region. Let's bring in Maxwell Kudeko reporting from the eastern region, one of those regions formerly announced by the Electoral Commission as suffering and experiencing the shortages because of the challenge they've experienced today in these electoral areas in the eastern region. They will vote now on Thursday. This now has been postponed to Thursday in these parts of the region. Maxwell, how are people reacting to this?
Well, many of the residents we had interaction with expressed their disappointment. Some have traveled from outside the constituency or the electoral area. Some are working in the Greater Accra region, some are outside the Eastern region who travels this morning or at dawn to come and exercise their franchise. But unfortunately, most of these guys queued for more than 3 hours to 4 hours, and then there were no indication to the effect that elections were going to happen. In the Eastern region, only 13 out of the 33 district and municipal assemblies had opportunity to exercise their franchise as constitutionally demand. So the Okresuhun, Etua East, Ekwapen South, Upper West, Akem, Yilo Krobo, Kwao South, Esujaman, Saoma Dueji, Afam Place North, Afam Place South, West Akem, and the Buaka North constituency were the only 13 constituencies that had opportunity to go through the process. All the other 22 or the other 22 constituencies, they had the opportunity to participate in the district election. In the Suhun constituency, like I report that not all the electoral areas had opportunity to go through the process. We are told that there were issues with some few electoral areas. So those electoral areas have also the voting in those electoral areas have also been postponed to Thursday. There are a few issues in Suhum where polling stations like Akrabo and its enclave that are seen as flashpoints. The district security council deployed some military men that caused some uproar within these electoral areas. But by and large, calm restored, and then their side has ended peacefully. So 13 out of the 33 constituencies in the Eastern region only had opportunity to exercise their franchise in the Eastern region. We are told that by Thursday, all the other 22 constituencies will have the opportunity to have their turn.
And that's a challenge, isn't it, Okudeko? Because already, as we know, with district level elections, people don't want to show up and vote anyway. Do you get a sense that people are willing to come out on Thursday to cast their ballot?
Many have vowed not to stand up again. So in these few constituencies, in these 30 constituencies that we are talking about, voting started somewhere after 9 a.m. In other places, it started after 10 a.m. And the many who queued, because a working day, a lot of people will have to go back to work. So those who had the will to exercise their franchise, were kept in the queue for a lot of hours. They left and they didn't come back. So in most of the centers you go, you see the officials around midday, but there's virtually nobody in the queue to exercise the franchise. So turnout, we are just waiting to get official figures. But from what we witnessed the afternoon, the turnout was also encouraged. So you could realize that in some areas, some of the aspirants were moving around the various communities and in individual homes with speakers trying to encourage people to go back to the polling station to exercise their franchise. But unfortunately, in most instances, we didn't have the numbers.
And in your region, Eastern region, the National Democratic Congress, they've issued a statement, a pretty strongly worded statement, very unhappy with the Electoral Commission. Thank you very much, Max Okudeko, reporting from the Eastern region, where some of the electoral areas voting there has been postponed now to Thursday because of the challenge with ballot papers. So what do we know? We know from our EC sources that the challenge emerged because some of the printing houses contracted to print the ballot papers failed to do so on time. And so what it meant was that they came and the many parts of the country, as you've just heard there, did not have enough ballot papers, or in some places they didn't have it at all. And that's why, particularly in the Eastern and Ashanti region, electoral areas affected, they now cannot vote today, and the voting there has been postponed to Thursday. I want to bring in the National Democratic Congress Deputy General Secretary. They have a statement out tonight on this, calling out the Electoral Commission and accusing them of making a mess of today's elections. Mustafa Gbande is the Deputy General Secretary. Thank you, Mustafa, for your time here on Top Story. I wonder, you are stakeholders in this. Have you received any official explanation from the EC why this happened?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our listeners. Well, what happened today, the NDC, the NES have indicated that Mensah is a character of chaos, and if care is not taken, she will run this country in a situation that is beyond recovery. Now, 12 hours into an election, the Electoral Commissioner did not know the operational challenges that are confronted with an activity that she held press conference to assure the nation that she was prepared. Today, only for us to get into places where they are security individuals in national security prescribed uniforms, waving arms at the polling stations. We have Apawu Markins using the military to intimidate people in a mere district assembly election.
Well, Mustafa, I don't have any evidence of that, and so this is something that of course, we need to verify whether indeed somebody was using the military to do this or not. But on the subject of the elections, though, I mean, you have issued a statement. I guess you haven't received an official explanation yet. Back to the original question.
She has not been able to explain that, but again, these are avoidable situations that we find ourselves in. What explanation would you give apart from concluding that she has not demonstrated competence, she has not demonstrated her ability to understand electioneering process? Now, if you have contracted vendors 12 hours into an exercise, delivery have not been made, yet you have assured the whole country that you are ready, it means you are not competent. If you have supplied limited, papers to particular areas without knowing that you have to issue papers in accordance with the voters register in those particular areas, then it's a deliberate action to undermine the integrity and credibility of Ghana's district assembly election. What explanation will she give?
What we've been told is that some of the printing houses contractors just simply failed to print enough or print at all for today. Isn't that?
Yes, so there's an acknowledgement of somebody failing to do its work. Why did she schedule a day for election if she has not taken delivery of what she has contracted people to deliver? She didn't see this even 6 hours into the exercise. This is a woman who claims she's going to supervise a competent, national stake election in 2024. Ghanaians must be worried, the media must be worried that we are going into a dangerous situation with Mensah.
I mean, they've apologized for this. You don't accept the apology?
What apology? When you are running down the security of a nation, the electioneering process of a country called Ghana, when your actions have what it takes to undermine the integrity, the security, the peace of our nation, what apology would you have? If you had averted a little bit of common sense, a little bit of rationality, all these challenges would have been avoided. We caution her that you are treading on dangerous grounds. We caution her that carry your stakeholders around, carry MPP, carry NDC, carry CPP alongside your decision so that we can back you, help you with ideas. In any case, political parties are major stakeholders in elections. You refused. And you made your own reforms. You took your own decisions. And here we are, apologize to who? In a very civilized country, this woman should be resigning. She's incompetent to handle any election in this country. Mensah has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that she's not capable, that she's incompetent, that she will deliberately undermine the integrity of our election if she's allowed to continue.
But Mustafa, you said deliberately. Isn't that a bit unfair? Because considering what has happened, why would
she claimed
deliberately
that
do so?
The law is very clear and visible. Even her commission contracted printing press to print papers, ballot papers. If she hasn't taken delivery of sale, if she hasn't cross-checked the quality of what the people have been asked to print, why did she then schedule an election date? Why was she yesterday organizing a press conference assuring the nation that she was ready to carry on an election?
You talk about failure, but this is the same Electoral Commission that conducted the 2020 elections, which was validated by the Supreme Court, and international agencies said the same too.
The international agencies had other opinions about the election. We are talking about one particular election in this time round, that is district assembly election, which has been incompetently handled we all can see that if you go through logical reasoning, if you go through the arithmetic of taking note of the steps into the exercise, you will know that she shouldn't have proceeded on that tangent. You will see that these problems are avoidable. These problems shouldn't arise in the first place. Someone, Jim Mensah, had deliberately plunged the nation into chaos.
Mustafa, thank you very much. Mustafa Bande is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. They have a statement out tonight on the situation with the district level elections. I want to bring in the National Coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, Albert Kofi Ahin. Mr. Ahin, thank you very much. This situation with the district level elections and the postponement of the elections in some areas in Ashanti and Eastern, but as we've been learning tonight, the challenge also was experienced in the central, in also the northern region and other parts of the country as well. Have you learned anything different from what we're learning as to what really caused this challenge?
Yeah, thank you, Ivan, and good afternoon to your listeners. There are two things. I have a feeling that maybe the printing houses, one, maybe didn't receive the materials to be printed early enough, or maybe in the course of printing, they may have had some problems with their machine. You see, so that must have maybe accounted for the fact that they were not able to deliver for the elections to take place. Either the EC didn't send the materials to them on time, or they may have had problems with their machine. I've not had any information about what really happened, but these are my suspicions. Because the District Assembly election, unlike the presidential and parliamentary, is something very huge. A lot of materials are to be printed. If you're talking about the unit committee, you are talking about the District Assembly's representatives itself. So it's always borders on having to have enough time at your disposal to be able to print and correct mistakes. As I was watching television this afternoon, I saw that some of the names, for example, if it's Kofi Ahin, it's Mensah who is under the picture. So, these are some of the mistakes. That tells you that the printing should have started way back to allow for mistakes that have been made to be corrected. This is what I suspect must have happened. It's very unfortunate that in Ashanti region, I think in the central region, and I'm told also in the eastern region, elections have been postponed and will be conducted, I think, tomorrow. It's very unfortunate.
And because of your experience, I need to ask you, knowing the challenge with district level elections already, do you think that Thursday will work? People will actually get up and go and vote again?
It's going to be a tough order. You saw what happened today. A lot of people didn't go out to vote. So if they are to go again tomorrow, depending on the area, it depends on which area the problem is. But I believe if those who are actually contested are able to move from house to house to ginger people up, they might be able to come out to do it. But definitely the enthusiasm has gone down, and it's going to be worse off than we had today.
The EC has apologized. Good enough?
Yes, it's okay for them to offer an explanation. But the question is, why this? If you have noticed, Ivan, some of these things occur most of the time during the District Assembly elections. You remember there was a time when there was this caption of doing the election thought by thought. Sometime back, I've forgotten the date. That tells you of the nature of this particular election. So maybe the EC should have taken a cue from the fact that it is very, very dicey, and you have to be handling it with utmost care. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem.
Thank you very much. That's Mr. Ahin there. Were you affected by this? I want to hear from you tonight. 055 1111997. Newsnight starts right now.
Welcome to Newsnight. Tonight, the company at the center of the $100 million controversial contract, SML, entangled in further contradiction as head of IT, contradicts managing director's denial of $3 billion annual revenue savings.
That's that $3 billion. I'm not. That's what I told you from the beginning. I said I don't know about this $3 billion.
We can confidently say that there has been an average monthly increase of 100 million liters. So if you multiply it by 24 months, that will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
That's not all. The special prosecutor has invited the MD of the company as the office commences investigation into the scandal. Meanwhile, there are growing demands for a wider probe involving Parliament, arguing the OSP alone cannot handle the case.
Is it the OSP or is it Parliament? I hope there would be probably a mix of Parliament, stakeholders, CSOs to look into this particular issue.
Tonight, we'll take you to Ewoya and hear stories about how chiefs and residents there are bracing themselves to become the first lithium mining center in Ghana. Already, they are demanding an increment in the community development levy from 1% to 3% and better education on the deal.
If they can increase the 5% to 10%, then they can equally increase our 1% too, because the populations of the communities are growing in size.
Start at 5%.
And also tonight, we chronicle how Ghana became a trailblazer in global begging in part 3 of our hotline documentary, A Nation That Begs.
It was quite clear that we're in too deep and we're in above our heads. And so once the written downgrade came, that sealed our fate.
And did you vote in any of the 6,200 electoral areas in the just ended District Assembly and Unit Committee elections? Well, some young voters failed to participate in the elections as low voter turnouts were recorded at most polling stations in the country.
We are expecting 700 people, but as at now we have only 22 people who have voted successfully.
And in business, more oil marketing companies are expected to reduce prices at pumps as market leader Gold and Shell drop prices.
In sports, former Commonwealth Games long jump champion Ignatius Geza joins Team Ghana's coaching staff ahead of Africa Games.
We have that and more in tonight's edition of Newsnight. You want to join us with your thoughts and comments? It's via WhatsApp 055-1111-997. I am Emefa Apawu.
And my name is Mensah. We have details after this.
Janice will stream all McDonald's for the kids. Mommy said she'd be trying a new YouTube recipe for oven grilled chicken. Daddy!
No worries at all. I've got 200% bonus data on my Vodafone fixed broadband this Christmas.
200% bonus data? Woohoo! It's giving Christmas vibes. Vodafone be doing the most this Christmas.
Celebrate Christmas with 200% bonus data when you pay 2 months of your Vodafone fixed broadband subscription. Simply dial *900# or visit My Vodafone app or myvodafone.vodafone.com.gh to sign up or upgrade your offer. Vodafone, further together.
It is your time to vote for your assembly members and unit committee members. So get involved and vote. It's a civic duty required of you as a Ghanaian. So get involved and vote.
A message from the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE.
Where for Shikibe? Where for Shikibe? Where for Shikibe? Yanko to a problem. Yanko to a problem. Yanko to a problem. Yanko to a problem. Me ato mi vedako. Mi vedako. Mi ato mi vedako. Muje Zakoria. Muje Zakoria. Zakoria. Yehodo. It is your time to vote for your assembly members and unit committee members. So get involved and vote.
A message from the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE.
Ready? Let's go. We all go bring some savannah.
Everyone is dancing, everyone is singing, because everyone is painting with Savannah. Savannah paints from Azar are affordable enough for everybody to fulfill their paint needs. Paint more, pay less. Savannah paint, we all go paint some.
We all go paint some Savannah. We all go paint some.
It's raining beautiful goodies at Meydan Home Deco this Christmas.
Joy to the world.
Our stores are wide open and ready to treat you this Yuletide. Meydan Home Decor has all the essentials to decorate your home. Christmas decorations, throw pillows, vases, photo frames, and many more. We assist clients create their personal and corporate hampers with our exquisite gift items. Your bedrooms will come alive with our high-quality bed and bath products made of 100% Egyptian cotton. Our international brands such as Canon, Fieldcrest, Waverly are leaders in offering the most comfortable pillows, towels, bed in a bag, duvets in amazing colors and textures. It's a good time of year to give your home a facelift. Meydan is ready to give your home a simple yet trendy look. Look out for us in Accra, Junction, Achimota, and West Hills Mall. Follow us on Instagram. Meydan Home Deco. We bring quality and comfort to your home.
It is time to celebrate excellence in the 31st and 32nd President's National Awards for Export Achievement. This prestigious event is honoring exporters for their contribution to Ghana's economic development. Theme: recognizing excellence, driving sustainable exports to accelerate Ghana's prosperity. Venue: Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel. Date: Tuesday, December 19, 2023. Time: 6 p.m. This event is organized by Ghana Export Promotion Authority and Ghana Free Zones Authority. For enquiries or sponsorship, please call 0242-155-377 or 0534-164-889. Sponsors: Ghana Exim Bank, MND Metals Company Limited, Sarmatex Timber and Plywood Company Limited, AMP Logistics Ghana Limited, West Coast Wooden Products Limited, Prudential Bank, Olam Food Ingredients, Bank of Ghana, and Duffery. This event is by invitation only.
Thanks for staying with us here on Newsnight. You're welcome back. We'll start off with the controversy and that particular scandal. We know that tonight the company at the center of the controversy in the petroleum downstream sector, Strategic Mobilization Limited, SML, is further embroiled in a contradiction. So, Evans, whilst the managing director dismisses assertions that the operation of the company does not save revenue to the tune of $3 billion annually, his head of IT, Prince Sapong, defends the record. Investigations by the Fourth Estate reveals that SML had been awarded a 10-year contract by the finance minister worth over $100 million annually to monitor underreporting, diversion, dilution of fuel products, and general non-compliance in the petroleum industry, something we all know that the MPA was already doing.
Well, the firm admitted to Fourth Estate investigators that they made false claims about making savings for the country through their operations. In the last few minutes, the company has issued a statement which we shall get to pretty shortly. But first, we can listen to the MD of the company, Christian Tetesuti.
The services it listed on its website as curtailing irregularities in the sector did not exist and deleted them from the website. Even if SML was carrying out those services and all the incremental revenue within the period of its operations was credited to the company's efforts, the amount would be 2.4 billion cedis and not 3 billion cedis as it claimed to have saved. When we put these figures to the managing director, he made a shocking admission.
That's why that 3 billion, I'm not. That's why I told you from the beginning. I said I don't know about this 3 billion.
We cannot say your intervention saved 3 billion.
No, I said 3 billion. I'm not. I've told you that I'm not aware. Because when we were told about the publication, we even called it.
As we speak this morning, still on your website.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To be honest, I don't even know website matter.
So that's the MD speaking to Manasseh Zuriawuni, who led that investigation together with his colleagues at Fourth Estate in that documentary. Now, today, they took media journalists around to show them their facility. And at this particular briefing, the head of IT at this particular firm, SML, Prince Sapon, does a significant U-turn from what we just heard there. His own MD has said. He says, well, they actually saved the country 3 billion cedis.
So in estimate, what actually happened with the 3 billion is, as I talked about, the money is all about the volumes. So if there's an increase in volume, there's an increase in revenue. And since SML started operation, we can confidently say that there has been an average monthly increase of 100 million litres. So if you multiply it by 24 months, with the tax component that we are not even using the 1.74, we are using the old tax component, which is 1.44, that will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
So that's the head of IT today. And my colleague Samuel Mbura was one of the media personnel who were part of this particular engagement by SML. He joins us in studio. First, though, I'm curious, what's the reason behind this particular media engagement, which is coming a day after the documentary was aired?
Well, they said it was a familiarization engagement that they wanted to have with the media. They have been in operation since 2020, and they think that this is the time for them to engage us, to know how they operate. So they took us through their strong room, how they monitor the flow of the petroleum products, mainly gas, petroleum, and then diesel. So in short, they just wanted us to know how their system works whilst they are in Accra and monitoring the whole country. I'm sure the issue about influencing the media came up during that interaction when we all gathered there. What was the explanation that was given? Well, they were not actually specific on this, but what they indicated was that it is not a case that they want to influence the media, but for us to have first-hand information about their operations. Now let's get into the substance of this particular meeting. And we know the issues of the accuracy of the data from SML have been raised in the documentary. What's your reaction to this, first off? Well, the head of engineering at the company, Abubakar Hamdan, is of the view that that allegation is false because they have a robust system than any other company in the petroleum sector.
The allegation that SML's flow meters are not accurate is false. If you look at the technical data sheets of these ultrasonic flow meters we use, they show the accuracy level of these ultrasonic flow meters. Our ultrasonic flow meters are being calibrated by Ghana Standard Authority semi-annually. That's twice every year. And upon attainment of the calibration certificate, it is always established that our flow meters is always within an acceptable range of which the device is set to operate. We sometimes do have an accuracy level of even less than 0.1%. At the topmost, we have an accuracy level of about 0.8 to 1%. That is in an instance where the temperatures are very high, since we know MPA has directed the depots to load at 20 degrees Celsius. Now, Imra, what about the usage of data by GRA in their revenue monitoring? What's the response from SML?
Well, the head of IT, Prince Sapon, is still defending their data. He says that's what the GRA uses to reconcile in monitoring their revenue.
The question of if GRA uses our data, I will first say that the data is for GRA. It is not for us. So the volumes that we get from our monitoring, which is the ultrasonic flow meters, is being reconciled with the volumes that is in ICOMS. And if there's any discrepancy, it is flagged for investigation. But that is what the auditing part is. So when we monitor and we get the volumes, we reconcile the volumes with what is actually in ICOMS. And if there's any discrepancy, which is very high, it is flagged for investigation. So the data is for GRA, and it is used for audits. I'll say, let me give some case study of what we saw so far. A typical example is a product, ATK and kerosene. Sometimes when you are monitoring, our system will flag it that this is ATK being loaded out. But when you go into the system, it will be kerosene. So when we flag these things, as I said, it is flagged for investigation because it's an auditing software.
Well, but we know that in the documentary, the GRA has been giving explanation when it comes to the use of their data by SML.
Exactly. So Samuel Arthur says that they don't rely on that particular data generated by SML to monitor their revenue savings.
It is also important to note that although the GRA has contracted SML, the readings from the SML meters are not used by the GRA for its tax purposes.
It has been the way bill figure, which is meters, the volume that is being dispensed from the meters. That is the volume we use for tax purposes. Switch meters. That is the gantry meters.
And Ibura, so who exactly was there representing SML?
So we had the head of IT, Prince Sapon. We also have the head of engineering petroleum department of SML, that's Hamdan Abubakari, whom we heard his voice earlier. And then the communications officer too was also around. However, we didn't see the managing director, Mr. Soti. We were told that, or the information I picked was that the OSP has extended some invitation to him. So that is the reason he was not part of this particular engagement.
And we know yesterday the Forte State sent out a petition to the special prosecutor to look into this, to investigate it. And from what you're learning, the OSP has acted pretty swiftly to get that done with this invitation to the MD, who, as we've seen, had today been contradicted by his own subordinate, the head of IT. Today, though, in the last hour or so, the SML, they have, in addition to what they did today, they've issued a statement. What are they saying? So
the major concerns here is that the company says it has been drawn to their attention a documentary that represents a set of misrepresentations, false claims, and a general lack of understanding on the entire operations of the company. They are challenging the Fourth Estate to produce any contract anywhere that is for 10-year period. The fifth PPA board, according to SML, at this 46th board meeting, in the letter referenced with the PPA reference number, approved a contract duration of 5 years. So they are dismissing the claims that the contract is for 10 years. Again, they are saying that it is not true that SML takes $100 million annually from its contract. They clarify that the contract, which is yet to be operationalized per their projections, leads to that claim. The upstream operation of the company have not yet begun, and no revenue has been realized. No monies have been paid to SML. The $100 million per year payment to SML that has been alleged is purely a figment of the author's imagination and not factual. It ends by saying that SML takes pride in its committed and highly skilled technical team whose combined expertise propels our success in delivering innovative solutions. The team consists of seasoned professionals with diverse backgrounds, ensuring a comprehensive approach to addressing the most intricate technical challenges.
Well, the outline in number, that's a 14-point statement from SML, including the role of the NPA and why they are not duplicating the roles, amongst others, a number of them. But let me bring in Manasseh Azuriawuni, the investigator behind this documentary put together by the Fourth Estate. Manasseh, so he joins us via Zoom, and you've been listening to the head of IT. First off, we'll get into the statement from the company shortly, but you've heard him. He is insisting that the $3 billion annual saving is true.
Yes, Emefa, when Samuel told me about this, Mr. Prince Sapon's insistence now, which is a turnaround from what a company said, I actually sent to him a video recording of Prince Sapon. On that day that the MD, the managing director, Christian Tetesoti, said that the figure was wrong and that the media got it wrong, Prince Sapon was in that room. When we were grilling Mr. Soti, one of their staff members actually intervened for the interview to pause. So it was then that Prince Sapon got in. Fortunately, our cameraman hadn't stopped rolling. So you would hear Prince Sapon actually supporting the MD that he did the presentation, and he never said anywhere that they saved 3 billion. And I'm quoting him, he said, we are not GRE, so we are not dealing with revenue. And that it was the media that got it wrong. So I told him that, look, if the media got it wrong and you have it on your website, what does that mean? And he said, the story on the website actually said they saved 3 billion. And I said, yes. So it is very strange that the same person who supported the MD, when they said it was the media, including the state-owned Daily Graphic, and a number of media houses reported this. City Online is there, and a lot of Business and Financial Times, they all reported this. So it is very strange that this person was in the room, agreed with the MD that the figure was not right. He actually said there was no way they could give an accurate figure and that they were just making projections and the media got it wrong.
Well,
so once that video or audio is finished downloading, it has been processed. You may play it for the entire nation to hear that this same person who in July said that, look, we cannot say we saved 3 billion, is today contradicting his own managing director, who at the time also said they could not say they saved 3 billion.
Well, we've been highlighting the contradictions earlier before you got on, but into the statement, they highlight a number of issues where they say there's some factual inaccuracies. So to start off, they say the documentary represents a set of misrepresentation, false claims, and a general lack of understanding on the entire operations of the company. They also disclaim that they actually earn $100 million annually, and they are challenging the Fourth Estate to produce the contract for that 10-year period that we've talked about.
Emefa, if you read our story, we did a documentary and also did an online version. We attached portions of the finance ministry statement and then also portions of the contract in that documentary, in that report, which My Joy Online has published. If this company is saying that what we published is not true, I think what the media and Ghanaians should expect from them is that the documents they are also quoting, they should publish those documents, they should publish the contract, they should publish their earnings for everyone to know. In that documentary, we said how we came by the figure $100 million. We mentioned that the old contract, they make up to 24 million cedis a month. We also said the new contract says they are entitled to $0.75 per barrel of oil that we produce in this country. These figures are public figures. So all that you need to do is to multiply $0.75 by the number of barrels that Ghana produces in a day, and you will get what this company is earning. We also know, at least from last year's gold production figures, how much Ghana produced. And we also know the international price for an ounce of gold. When the finance minister made this, presented a budget, he mentioned $1,800 per ounce. And this company is entitled 0.75% of total production. So that is how we arrived at the calculation. Are they saying that this company is not giving them this contract, the new contract, is not giving them 0.75% of total production? I challenge them to tell Ghanaians that this is not accurate. Are they saying that this contract is not saying that they should be entitled to $0.75 of every barrel of oil that Ghana produces? So these are, we actually explained how we got these figures. And if you read the report, which is online, we have attached relevant portions of the documents. And so I think what the media should be asking SML to do is to also publish every document that they have so that we compare them with what we have published. And if ours is wrong, we are prepared to defer to whichever figures we have. That aside, we also wrote officially to the institution that awarded the contract. So we've written, actually, the Ghana Revenue Authority. We sent 2 letters, one in July, another one in November. We sent a letter to the Ministry of Finance in November asking for copies of these documents. We haven't had them. So we have put out what we have and explained how we came by those figures. So if anybody is doubting or saying it is false without producing any document, producing any evidence to back what we have put out there, then I think the onus is still on them to prove, because we have put what we have out there.
And Manasseh, on the OSP petition, have you heard anything back from the OSP? Today we learned from this visit that AMD has been invited by the OSP. Have you been given any further information from there?
Unfortunately, I don't have any additional information apart from the fact that our petition was received by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I think I'm also just hearing from your network that the managing director of the company has been invited, but I don't have further details on that.
Manasseh, thank you very much. So live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM.
Darling boy to debt relief seeker. That's the story of Ghana, a nation that begs. A Joy News hotline documentary by Isaac Kofieje tracks how Ghana got suffocated with commercial loans, forcing it to seek haircuts worth about 40% from its creditors in the international capital market. Here are excerpts of the third part of the documentary, A Nation That Begs.
In 2022, Ghana faced economic challenges as emerging markets experienced soaring coupon rates for bonds, rendering them exorbitant. Consequently, only 3 countries, Nigeria, South Africa, and Angola, managed to issue Eurobonds in the first half of the year. Other nations, including Kenya and Ghana, were priced out of the international capital markets due to unsustainable interest rates.
When we started getting the downgrades and others, that we better fix it because the domestic market was just too shallow.
It was quite clear that we're in too deep and we're in above our heads. And so once the rating downgrade came, that sealed our fate. We could no longer go back to the international capital markets to borrow, at least not on the Eurobond market, until we address issues of debt sustainability.
You are mindful about the cost of accessing capital from the markets. Okay, and especially when your rating has gone down the way it is, we are almost in a junk territory, right? So one basic understanding of the market is that when you come onto the market unattractive, you'll be punished.
For Ghana, the burden of debt servicing obligations, limited to interest payments only, was projected to reach approximately $5 billion at both domestic and external levels in 2023. Unlike its 16th enrollment in 2015, Ghana's unsustainable debt position was certainly a huge obstacle in obtaining an IMF deal. This meant a lot of conditions had to be met. The IMF's message to Ghana was very simple: restructure your debt or no bailout package.
I also want to assure all Ghanaians that no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money as a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations. There will be no haircuts. So I urge all of you to ignore the false rumors.
Instantly, the market knew the president wasn't speaking the truth. You see that right after the president made a statement, the reactions were more or less to reject the statements. And therefore, my expectation is that any investor who probably took a decision on the back of that wasn't an investor, was probably a lotto doctor.
So that's part 3 of Nation That Begs, which is airing just about now on the Joy News channel, also on all our social media platforms. You want to catch it, Nation That Begs, put together by Isaac Kofieje.
And I can tell you the part 1 and the part 2 are the most watched documentaries this year on all our platforms. More than 200,000 people watched one of it, right? So that tells you people really interested in this particular documentary.
How we became a nation that begs.
Exactly. So part 3 is fascinating and you don't want to miss it. It's live on the Joy News channel, but the place to really watch it is on our social media handles, because that's where everybody else is going to.
On YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, everywhere.
And myjoyonline.com.
Of course. Meanwhile, the World Bank Country Director, Pierre Laporte, has revealed that the country's bilateral creditors are also close to issuing an assurance to aid IMF board meeting in Ghana. Well, this should come in the form of of a memorandum of understanding from the official creditor committee to the fund that a deal has been reached. It's coming at a time that concerns have been raised about the feasibility of the new 11 January 2024 board meeting date that we are learning about. Mr. Laporte has been speaking on PM Express Business Edition, which will be aired on Thursday at 9 p.m.
At this point in time, the list information that we have is there's close to closure, and with that, we would be able to go.
I understand that the fund has proposed 11th of January as a new day for the board to meet. Have you got that communication? Are we sure that we're going to get something done before that time?
IMF has to tell you if it's true they can get it done. Me, what I can tell you, if IMF goes, we are hoping to try and also go, if possible, even on the same day. If not, it will be soon after.
The November date, it was moved to the first week of December, it moved to December 21, and now January 11th. Then there's people who are worried whether anything can be reached this time around from the official credit committee point for the bank even to come with the support.
What I can tell you is information that we have credible internally is that the creditors are quite close to an agreement, close enough that's given the IMF the comfort for them to go to say schedule the date, and it's given us comfort to also work on a date close enough to the IMF. You see, this is not the fault of Ghana. In fact, we are very disappointed because Ghana has done everything it needed to do. We agreed reforms with you. You've done all the reforms. You've met all the what we call the pro-actions. And now you are just waiting for the creditors to agree on certain technical issues. And this is what we need to get closure.
Catch Pierre Laporte in that PM Express Business Edition interview with George Riafe on Thursday at 9 p.m. on the Joy News channel, on myjoyonline.com and all our social media platforms as well. George Riafe is here. We have more in the world of business. George?
Well, Emefa coming up, more oil marketing companies expected to reduce prices at pumps as market leader Gull and Shell take lead with adjustments. And Bank of Ghana optimistic about City's outlook despite delays in getting the second tranche of IMF cash for this year. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Sinter's Tanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
Hey, Ma, the way you're always getting alerts these days, I won't be surprised to hear that you have gotten a Momo for Business account by my next visitor.
Oh, I'm already on Momo for Business.
Since when?
Since. Now, it's easy to apply for a merchant SIM. All you need is a registered MTN number, your business certificate, your Ghana card, and you are good to go.
Sir,
you think you are the only one who knows what's up, eh? Look, I just dialed *5051#, selected register, and the region I was requesting the SIM from, and waited for my SMS with my reference number. You can even go online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh and complete the details for an even better experience.
Hey, Grandma Momo.
Sign up for Momo for Business the easy and simple way. Just visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh or dial *5051# and follow the prompts and be on your way to owning a Momo business account today for free. MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
No matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Syntex tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project or demand, choose Syntex tank. Syntex tank, stress-free. Syntex tank, reliable. Syntex tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244 335 168, Kumasi 0505 555 666, or visit syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough.
Before Ogun, the god of fire, I stand on oath.
By popular demand,
You force words from me again? You big Sarah!
the biggest play in the history of African theatre is back.
Odewale!
The gods are not to blame.
We sent you all the way to Ileife to bring us greetings from Ifa. All right, we greet Ifati. Thank you.
Monday 18th, Tuesday 19th, and Wednesday 20th December at the National Theatre at 7 p.m. each night. Yes, for 3 nights only. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see Olarotimi's classic tale of fate, The Gods Are Not to Blame, for the last time in 2023 at the National Theatre. Tickets are selling now for only 150 cedis at www.imagebureaugh.com or dial star 711 star 11 star 25 hash. Supported by Joy FM and proudly brought to you by Image Bureau in partnership with April Communications and the National Theatre.
Media Sambisanda Moa. Etiam Ratiano, Mumu Panet, Vietnam, Podompe, Mumana Yakono. Eh, Quabna. No Mumu wants to be just Mali, Mariana there. Eh, and the crew, Cobret Mirinam Budom, so you so excellent Eba. I had a binding the Braille, who see it in a mobile, some man I want it. Sir, I need Nakujon, you so excellent Chaco. Nenry dear, a mouse, when you could fit of that. No, what you ask you, my mother feel you. Kojo, sir. Yeah. Pepsodent Heba and a Pepsodent Charcoal. A failure. You're gonna natural.
FDIJ Jadion Katuyatu.
Ready to upgrade to awesome? Say hello to the new Samsung Galaxy A05, A05s, A15, and A25 5G. Unlock the magic of the awesome screen. 6.7 inches of pure delight. Available in black, light violet, light green, and silver. Your style, your choice. The awesome 50 megapixel main camera gives you breathtaking photos. Built with a 5000 mAh awesome battery guaranteed to last long, and a 25 fast charger ensures you spend less time charging. Make your memories awesome with any of the new Samsung Galaxy A series range of phones. It's not just a phone, it's a lifestyle. Fall in love with the Galaxy all over again.
The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah. The luckiest.
Keep buying your luckiest ticket with star 712 hash as an individual, a group, an association, or even a community, and stand a chance of winning in the community draw or the ultimate draw on 23rd of December. Be the luckiest on star 712 hash and win millions. Ticket sale starts on October 4th, 2023, and draw date is on 23rd December 2023. Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform. Win millions on star 712 hash.
The luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, more oil marketing companies are expected to reduce prices of petroleum products at the pumps in the coming days. It is coming after market leader Gold and Shell drop prices today. There is more in this report.
Some of the leading oil marketing firms have told Joy Business that they will be reviewing their prices at the pumps in the coming day. We understand that Total Energies will adjust their prices from tomorrow morning. Shell, which reviewed their prices this morning, is selling a litre of petrol at 12 cedis, 39 pesos. Diesel, on the other hand, is going for 12 cedis, 99 pesos. However, some have raised concerns about the margin of reduction by some of the oil marketing companies for the second pricing window. This is due to the fact that there has been some significant reduction in price of finished petroleum products on some of the international markets over the past weeks, as well as the Ghana cedi, which has been fairly stable on the international market. Therefore, we should have witnessed a much bigger reduction in price at the pumps. It will be interesting to see how this adjustment by the oil marketing companies impacts on the cost of living and inflation going forward, especially when it comes to the cost of carting some foodstuffs from the farm gate to the market.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison has indicated that they are taking some extra measures to deal with any expected shocks and pressure on the Ghana cedi. It follows concern that the city's fortunes could worsen in the coming weeks as the IMF cut disbursement is pushed to next year. But Dr. Addison says the reserve requirement increase and fresh reserves measures will help stabilize the local currency in the coming months.
In a sense, we've been able to bring more stability to the system and not just depended on IMF resource flows. So, yes, I mean, if the bilateral creditors reach agreement early before the end of this year or first quarter of next year, we will all be happy. But if they don't, we think we can manage. That's all that I'm saying. And we are going to see the cocoa loan come in before the end of the year, and we would also get the second tranche of the IMF disbursement before the end of the year. So we should be able to manage at least over the next 6 months.
Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison. Now, the Managing Director in Emefa Ghana, George Owusu, is worrying that the current tax regime may end up breeding more avoidance by businesses. There has been a spike in complaints by businesses over the current tax structure in the country, as well as the enforcement measures by the Ghana Revenue Authority. But the Managing Director in Emefa Ghana has maintained that government must work to deal with the concerns of businesses.
I look forward to the time when our economy allows us to lower taxation. Part of the problem we have is in some places, for some raw materials, by the time you clear and it's in your factory, you've paid taxes in excess of 40% of your CIF. When taxation is at that level, many people will try to dodge it, either because they don't have the cash flow to pay for the taxes ahead, because remember, most of these you pay ahead at the port, etc. So they will dodge it. So I look forward to our macroeconomic situation getting to a place where the managers of our economy can begin to bring some of these taxes down, so we have more people and companies complying, so that the few companies, and I say this with all pride, like Unilever, who have an avowed interest in making sure that in this market we would always abide by the rules around taxes, around quality of products, etc., are not shortchanged.
Managing Director of Unilever Ghana, George Owusu Ansah. Now, players on the financial market are confident of boost in trading activities from next year, according to the president of ACI Financial Market Association, Lawrence Boampom. The current economic indicators could usher into the needed confidence post the domestic debt exchange program. Speaking to Joy Business at an award ceremony of the association, he indicated that depending on collaboration will go a long way to help restore the lost confidence.
Generally, we all know what has happened on the market, and we know how this has affected the investment landscape and trading activities generally and investor confidence. We obviously would want to see a lot more diversification next year. We would want to see a lot of innovation. We would want to see institutions come up with newer products. So yes, we want to dip in the market next year, and because we believe that there is an opportunity for growth, we think that all is not lost. As ACI members, as key stakeholders in driving the financial market, we can really play an active role in this space.
Lawrence Boampom is president of ACI Financial Market Association Ghana. The Institute of Directors Ghana is advising its members to implement policies aimed at addressing the increasing cases of sexual harassment in the workplace. Industry data suggests that almost 18% of employed men and women around the world are said to have experienced harassment at the workplace. Now, speaking to Joy Business at the conference on sexual harassment at the workplace, President of the Institute, Angela Kamanapia, said the phenomena can be addressed through adoption of proper sexual harassment policies.
As directors, we don't want just to know, we want to know how. And that is why we have these conversations, so we can elicit specific responses. So it's like a phenomenon that you are studying. You elicit the responses so that you can put in appropriate interventions to curtail, to manage, to address, to modify, to review, whatever we want to do. Then once it becomes a policy, then we also ensure that we are monitoring and tracking its implementation so that it doesn't just sit in a book, maybe an HR document sitting there, but there is no implementation. So we need to be deliberate and intentional, even in implementation, to ensure that those voices that we want to hear, those persons that are marginalized, are indeed being taken care of.
President of the Institute of Directors Ghana, Angela Kaman, appeared to the stock market. Cowbank was down by a peso to close at 49 pesos. Bensu Oil Palm Plantation was up by 2 pesos to close at 22 Ghana cedis. And that's all for Business on Newsnight. Back to you, Emefa.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, George. And guess who else is here? The freshest
husband in town.
Husband in town, okay, yeah.
How's marriage though? How's it going?
Sweet papa.
Christmas come early.
I'm telling you. Let's go straight into the stories. And former Commonwealth Games long jump champion Ignatius Geza has joined Team Ghana's coaching staff ahead of the Africa Games. The former world champion silver medalist, together with a number of former professionals, will hope to pass on their experience and expertise to help Ghana prepare for the competition. The 2024 Africa Games will be hosted in Ghana from March 8 to March 23, 2024. President of Ghana Athletics Bawa Fuseni says his outfit is focused on making a strong impression at the competition.
That is why we are not taking the African Games lightly at all. We are training our coaches, we are training our technical officials, and our athletes are also training seriously, both at home and in abroad. Our coaches, we are getting all our technical brains in the whole world. We are getting our foreign athletes and we are getting our foreign coaches, Ignatius Geza, Eric Nkansa, Eric Nfum, all of them have agreed to come and support us. So we are not taking the African Games lightly at all. We are bringing everything that we have to bear.
You heard Bawa Fuseni, the president of Ghana Athletics, bringing an end to sports. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. And let's head to Ewoya in the central region and in the heart of the anticipated lithium mining in the central region. That's Ewoya, a community of charcoal producers brimming with anticipation and dreams of a brighter future. Another affected community, Krofo, is however proceeding with caution, citing insufficient engagement with the company to understand fully the scope of the work ahead. Head of our energy desk, Samuel Kojo Brace, has been to the community and here's his report.
One
prepared is our work will soon begin, but we haven't seen it yet, and that is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the mining to begin.
Auntie Mensah, a resident of Ewoya, expressing optimism in the prospect of the lithium mining in this area. Her optimism is being actualized by Atlantic Lithium with the announcement of an employment opportunity. The chief of Ewoya, Nana Mbrono Edu the Ninth, says aside the announcement, the company has already employed some of the citizens.
We're training Nkwofu by Mensah. Since I was our word minimum. I haven't charcoal business.
They have trained about 3 people who are currently working. There used to be no jobs here apart from the charcoal business. Previously, when you come to this town, you will see no one around. But now, because of Atlantic Lithium, most of the youth are now employed. We are content with what Atlantic Lithium is doing here.
He describes Atlantic Lithium as a good social partner to his community.
I
was here when they brought the plan. The road contract has been awarded. All the engineers that came, I met them in Accra and brought them here. They have opened up about a lot of things they plan to do to help the communities.
I meet Charles Adofo, a native of Ewoya and employed as a technician at Atlantic Lithium.
I'm man for Abrabo, as it's at that time, no, Mentilian Miti. Obi who is here, we are
People's lives have been changed. I am currently employed. I now have enough money to support my mother and my family. It has been very beneficial to me. The majority of the men who were unemployed and took advantage of the opportunity now have jobs. You can be a casual worker and earn around 120 cedis if you are not a contractor.
120 cedis, 110 cedis a day.
He explains that though the company is only undertaking exploration activities, many people from the catchment areas are already benefiting from the work of Atlantic Lithium.
For now, almost 10 to 15.
Okay. The company has employed 10 to 15 individuals and is not limited to one town. The permanent staff in this town consists of 5 to 6 persons, including my senior brother and I.
5 or 6. Okay. For permanent. For permanent.
For people who are mainly charcoal producers and petty traders, Charles says the conditions with the employment at Atlantic Lithium are life-changing.
I hope
they start working soon because there are no jobs in the central region.
Now, one can take you over. Me, bida.
They have not disappointed us since they arrived because when Atlantic Lithium arrived, they hired and trained indigenous workers. They've done an excellent job.
Auntie Mensah says they expect Atlantic Lithium to serve as a catalyst for positive change in their lives once the mining operations starts.
Oh,
we know that when jobs come to a community, it brings economic life. It makes it possible for you to succeed in everything you do.
So this is a Ewoya community, a community of around 350 inhabitants. This is one of the many communities in which the lithium has been discovered in commercial quantity. This is where Barari DV Limited will be having their mining setup. We understand that residents here are waiting for the commencement of this mining. However, just a short drive away in Krofu, a contrasting tale unfolds. This community, also reliant on charcoal production, is worried of the impending changes. Jasper is a youth activist here.
They will just come to your farm, destroy something, give you a penny of money. When you ask them, they say they have a license from the government for them to do a prospecting or something like that. So we just kept quiet. Not long ago, we saw them mounting their posters or something like that, like they are going to do a mining and other things. We are still trying to get in touch with the elders. It seems like there was not much mass education on. We don't even know what they are going to do because they are trying to hide. It seems like there is a skeleton inside the box where they don't want to let it out.
He is calling for a better and broader community consultation into the development.
They should do everything possible, engage the community, and make sure whatever they are going to do, there is a value for money. It's not value for money. They should seek what is concerning the youth. It's not about employment, it's not about anything, but we just think about the youth, which because these elders which are making the decision today, they will leave and go. We are going to have affected with all those things they are coming to do here. So I think there should be a mass education, there should be proper compensation to the people.
One critical aspect that both communities and the mining company must grapple with is obtaining the consent of landowners. The delicate balance between economic progress and the right of those who call this land home hangs in the balance. Isaac Kujo is a landowner here in Krufu.
Asase ni tirimu no ya banze esoro ne nya banze ntisa banze amampa nyitum wabra me asase no me amete do wosoro no menyim nka ho hwe.
It is what is underneath the land that is for government. The land itself is not for the government. So even if government has given you the mineral right, you cannot go ahead to mount pillars to demarcate the boundaries when the landowners have not given you that power. That needs to be revised. Once you don't have the authority, you don't have the right to do anything on the land until you clear that with me, the landowner. The chiefs hold the land in trust for families, but there are several lands in the central region that are owned by individuals and families that are not under the power of the chiefs.
But there are so many lands it does not belong to the chieftaincy.
As Ghana engages in a national discourse on the mining lease agreement with Bawari DV Ghana Limited, there is more for the parties to do to ensure a safe process and the birth of a new phase in the lives of the people here in these communities. For Joy News, Samuel Kojo Brace, Ewoya.
And that's the situation in Ewoya. And just before we go, I'm wondering, Evans, did you vote in the just ended district assembly?
Oh no, you know we were in the office and we couldn't do so. You didn't vote either.
You didn't vote?
We're in the office and
I voted before coming.
You voted before you came?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't exercise your civic responsibility.
Yes, unfortunately.
That's not good. How about you listening? Did you vote? And how was it? Well, in part of the airport residential area, my colleague Ken told us that some young voters failed to vote. They didn't want to participate in the exercise, leading to a low voter turnout in most of the stations that he visited. Here's his report.
The voter turnouts within most electoral areas of the airport residential enclave in Accra were largely low, which is perhaps reflective of the non-interest in the district-level elections by the middle and upper-class voters in the country. The presiding officers of the Electoral Commission were, however, pleased with the orderly manner of the process.
It's been okay. It's been smooth. We are expecting 700 people, but as at now we have only 22 people who have voted successfully.
As we started, most of them were confused and asking questions about it, but our presiding officer educated them about it, so I don't think they're having a problem about that.
No misunderstanding or qualms were recorded at the places we visited. Some electorates that spoke to the news team were also pleased with the process and encouraged others to get involved.
It's good to vote for this particular exercise because when you want development, it starts from the community. So each and everyone should at least show concern by voting to make the community also pick up to meet the national grid.
Around 7 something to 8 before they set up everything. Some people are ready to go to work, but they wanted to vote. So we were here waiting for them. And the voting started around 7 something to 8.
The Electoral Commission projected a 60% voter turnout for the district assembly elections, but it appears that number is far too ambitious if the unsurprising low voter turnout within the airport residential area is anything to go by. For Joy News, I'm Kenneth Jesse.
And that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of News Night. Of course, throughout the other bulletins subsequently and also on TV on myjoyonline.com, we're bringing you all the details from the just ended District Assembly and Unit Committee elections. We're talking about it on PM Express too, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, of course. We've got to look back on it and see what lessons we can learn for the next time.
And it's day 2 of The Gods Are Not to Blame. We are heading to the National Theatre for that as well. And Peps is here with the Geek Squad.
Hi, good evening, Emefa and Evans.
What are we talking
You borrowed
about?
my pet name now.
Yeah, I'm taking it away from you.
Okay, no problem.
This evening we are looking at top tech highlights and trends of 2023 because the year is coming to an end. So we just want to look at what happened during the year.
What's your favorite?
I think for me, what I'm just going to say will be my favorite will be the fact that now for the electronic cars, we are seeing some kind of improvement in that. And not just
e-cards.
Yes.
What was that?
No, cars.
Oh, e-cars.
Yep.
Okay, electronic
cars.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I'm seeing a lot of improvement in that. So yeah, that's one thing that I have really taken note for. The things that have been done this year. Yep.
Okay. Papa has no idea what we're talking about, but it's okay.
Are you serious?
Enjoy the rest of your evening.